to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where the Patriots have extended to a 17-3 lead on the Colts. As we head to the second half, let's take a look at the Droid Razor Play presented by Motorola. And this was late in the first half. Tom Brady finding the tight end Rob Gronkowski on an 11-yard pass play, and that extended to a 10-3 advantage. And then a minute later, they make it 17-3. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon, and I did, as your official fact finder, verify that on your extensive chart. Look at this, if anybody could read this.
Red zone alert, 87 on the post down the middle of the field. I mean, I'm watching tape, I'm watching film during the week. Rob Gronkowski in the red zone. That's where Tom Brady's going to throw the football.
So you're saying that should have been picked up without any question by the Colts?
Yeah, you know, a false step. And all it takes is a false step or two against Tom Brady to get yourself out of position. He knows where the holes are in the coverage.
Can I just take a look at this once again?
You can use that for the second half.
How you are able to read this?
That's a method to my madness, believe it or not.
I don't know. Wow.
Well, it's a lot of film study.
You know, it reminds me of a doctor writing a prescription.
That's right. Well, here's the problem. You look at the first half stats, and the numbers in the first quarter were awesome for the Colts, but the second quarter not so good. And they've got to get back to what they did in the first quarter by playing real good defense, getting off the field on third down, and putting some long drives together. And you don't get a lot of opportunities against the Patriots team. Tom Brady, that guy right there, is not going to make a lot of mistakes.
17 of 23, 179 yards, including a touchdown. Patriots receive as this second half gets underway. Edelman will run it out. Across the 15 to the 20 and then pulled down from behind. 27-yard return. Jacob Lacey makes the tackle.
Yeah, I thought the numbers were pretty good for Tom Brady. And Dan Orlovsky got off to a great start in the first quarter, but didn't get a lot of chances in the second quarter. And, you know, they're going to have to be able to open up this offense a little bit. Let Dan Orlovsky throw the ball a little bit here in the second half.
Orlovsky completing his first 7, and then incomplete his final 4. Stephen Ridley split wide to the left. He's in the backfield. Welker makes the catch, a short gain. Cavell Connor with the stop, picked up 5.
And again, no huddle. They don't give you a chance to catch your breath as a defense. And, you know, before you know it, Wes Welker has 10 or 12 catches.
Right now, the number is 7. Come on! Deion Branch has the first down and some more. That's good for 17.
Well, you see Deion Branch at the top of your screen, and everyone is looking at Welker. Welker really works as a screen for Deion Branch. And those corners are playing very soft on the outside. Look how far off they are in terms of the receivers.
Good protection again for Brady. Goes underneath. Another first down, and Welker with his 8th catch and number 90 on the season.
Yeah, they're just getting up to the line of scrimmage so quick we can't even run a replay, but their corners are playing so far off of these receivers, and Tom Brady's getting the ball out of his hands so quick. He's really neutralizing that pass rush.
Are you complaining about the hurry-up? Does not allow you to get it to replay. Here's Welker with yet another catch.
Well, it is frustrating. It doesn't even allow me to draw all these good routes up. And, you know, Wes Welker, we're seeing so much zone coverage from the Colts. And all Welker and Branch are doing is just working up and finding a hole against that secondary.
And you can see how New England has turned things around. Slow start of the first quarter. Catch made by Welker. It's pitch and catch here between Tom Brady and Wes Welker. Cavell Connor on the stop.
And all they're doing is having Welker just work up the field 8-10 yards and sit down, whether it's against a safety or a walked linebacker. They're just making it look very, very easy.
Brady again completes. Aaron Hernandez refusing to go down, and then brought down by David Caldwell, the strong safety who's filling in for the injured Melvin Bullock.
You got to mix things up if you're the Colts defensively. They're playing so much zone coverage. You're going to have to mix in a couple snaps of man-to-man. to disrupt the timing and the rhythm of the passing. Look how far off this secondary is. Somebody's got to get up and start jamming these receivers.
Brady throwing, touchdown! Again, it is Rob Gronkowski.
I just don't know how this happens. You see the corner's not aware, the linebacker, the safety, there's no communication, and Bethea, he's working back towards the middle of the field. Everyone's running away from Rob Gronkowski in the red zone. Look at that, 13 receiving touchdowns this season, the most by a tight end in NFL history. If you don't find 87 in the red zone, you're out of your mind.
Gostowski adds the extra point. So New England pulling away to a 24-3 lead. On that 77-yard drive by the Patriots, Brady goes 7 for 7. He is now 24 for 30, throwing his second touchdown to the tight end Rob Gronkowski. 13th touchdown of the season for Gronkowski, which ties an NFL record for tight ends. LaFege on the return and gets it up near the 15, stopped by Tracy White. Back in Foxborough, Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. Patriots, after a slow start, now have a 24-3 lead early in this third quarter as the Colts start out from their 15-yard line. Orlovsky completes to the tight end, Jacob Tammy. Not much there. He's met by Gerard Mayo. Picked up 5 on the play. Talking with Dan Orlovsky last night, he said there'll be a large contingent of family and friends here today. He grew up in Shelton, Connecticut, but he says most of his friends are Patriot fanatics. He says not fans, fanatics.
Yeah, even his sister Christine, he says she's a huge Tom Brady fan. How about that?
In fact, he mentioned that she probably will be here wearing the number 12 jersey. Again, the pass to the tight end, Jacob Tammy, right at the marker. And he has the first down.
Well, Orlovsky spent some time this week consulting with Peyton Manning, and Peyton gave him some good advice as he got ready to make his first start in a long while in terms of how to play and how to prepare for the New England Patriots. And the best piece of advice that he gave Orlovsky, he said, you've got to be patient against Bill Belichick and this defense.
Well, if you're Peyton Manning, it works. A dive finding a hole. If Peyton Manning were with this Colt team, what do you think their record would be?
I really believe they have a winning record. Or I'm not suggesting they'd be 9-2 or anything like that, but you got to think that they'd have a winning record. He was able to overcome a lot of shortcomings around him. And not only do you lose Peyton Manning, the player, you lose Peyton Manning, the coach, and Peyton Manning, the leader. I mean, he knew this offense as well as anybody. And boy, without him in here, they just don't look the same.
2nd and 2. DeLon Carter, who just came on, picks up the first down. Carter, rookie from Syracuse, a 4th-round draft pick. Do you feel that Peyton Manning is the most irreplaceable player in the NFL? Remember when Tom Brady went down, Matt Castle played in, did well, not at the level of Brady, but did an excellent job. I would think with the Colts it's more complicated, that Peyton is basically quarterback / offensive coordinator along with Clyde Christensen.
Yeah, they helped build this thing. I mean, this has been a work in progress for years, and without them, you know, that they're not able to do the same things. Anthony
Hill, the backup tight end, makes the catch. It's a 4-yard gain. Nate Jones with the tackle.
Well, you go back to the 2008 season when Tom Brady goes down with that knee in week 1 against Kansas City. They're able to go, 11-5 that season, and you look at, the fact that without Manning, they've been 0-11. Look at the points per game. I mean, that's down almost 50%. The turnovers are a -11, and you're looking at 2 eventual Hall of Fame players, and the Patriots were able to kind of win some games without Tom Brady. Certainly the Colts have had no answers.
2nd down and 5, and Carter took a hard hit, not able to make it to the 50 as he goes for 3. We heard from Peyton on the NFL Today earlier. We talked with him last night. That neck has healed firmly enough to improve the intensity of his workouts. He's been rehabbing, but the good news is the next step will be lifting weights, throwing. It's part of the next progression. He says it will eventually be accelerated. What that means as to whether he would look to return or the Colts would even want him to get into a game, I don't think anyone knows at this point, as Carter picks up the 1st down and then coughs it up. Recovered by the Patriots. Kyle Arrington on the football. Gerard Mayo along with Matthew Slater making that hit. Well, you can see the turnover differential for Indianapolis as Carter coughed it up after what appeared to be a pretty good run. Stephen Ridley getting the call for the Patriots. He's a rookie out of LSU, stopped by Antoine Bethea, picked up 9 on the play. Well, Rich, it's all over in terms of being by yourself with the record in the first 12 games of an NFL season. Tom Brady has passed you back. I know this is very emotional.
Well, if it's going to have to happen, at least it's Tom Brady. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Were you even aware of that record? Ridley has a 1st down for New England. Were you aware at all that that record existed?
I don't have a whole lot left, but you think about that's just one of many for Tom Brady, and just how well he seems to play, and he just has complete command of the offense. He's the air traffic controller out there. You watch him direct traffic, get guys lined up, get him in the right play, and he rarely wastes plays. It's a good job deciphering everything that's in front of him.
In effect, as Brady fires downfield for Aaron Hernandez. Picked up 23 and another Patriot 1st down. Joe LaFage making the stop.
And LaFage, he's in pretty good coverage, but this is a perfect throw and catch. A little back shoulder for Aaron Hernandez, and that's what these tight ends give you. They not only can they run, but they can make some awkward catches.
And a screen for Hernandez, picked up 5. A.J. Eads on the tackle. In effect, you were very well aware of the record, and now he says,
"Why put the graphic together?
I'm piling it on, Gannon."
I love how the Patriots utilize the tight ends in this offense. You're going to see Hernandez, you see Gronkowski. Soldier will come in sometime and play tight end.
Out of the gun again. Brady running for the 1st down.
We were talking to Tom on Friday about why he decides to slide on his left where he's got that knee braced, and I think one of the reasons why is he doesn't want to slide on his right shoulder. He's always very conscious of that throwing arm.
Patriots 1st down from the 20-yard line. Here's Ridley. Stephen Ridley averaging 5 yards a carry. He's carried it just 40+. It's a very complete and well-utilized group of running backs by Bill Belichick, with Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Danny Woodhead, and Kevin Falk. Shane Vereen is not dressed today, and Ridley. Here's pass underneath from Gronkowski. David Caldwell makes the stop. That's a 9-yard hookup and another 1st down, and they are just moving Up and down the field.
It's the tempo, Marvin. It's just fast and furious, and you can hardly get lined up. And you can see right now the Colts really having a tough time with their communication.
This time to the ground for Ridley, and he is wrapped up. Brady has completed his last 10 passes.
And when he gets in a rhythm, he's hard to stop. And the tackles have done a really nice job. Matt Light and Nate Solder on the other side did a really good job with Freeney and Mathis and giving Tom Brady a chance to step up inside. But the ball comes out so quick. He's so deliberate. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball most of the time before the ball is even snapped.
All right, does he go for Gronkowski to set the tight end record?
No, he's going to move him. Gronkowski might come in to block a little bit.
Swing pass. Here's Gronkowski. Touchdown.
He called it, Mark.
That's from watching film.
That's your film study. Well, he's just going to work across the formation. And he's got 3 lead blockers out in front of him. This is almost like cheating. It's like stealing. It's like taking candy from a baby. It's a big target for Tom Brady down in that part of the field.
And here is Steven Gostkowski for the extra point. Rob Gronkowski with his 3rd touchdown of the day. Standing ovation a moment ago for Rob Gronkowski, who now has the single season record for touchdowns by a tight end, passing by Vernon Davis and Antonio Gates. 9 plays, 66 yards. A red-hot Tom Brady after a slow start. LeFevre taken down just before the 15-yard line. Here's Rob Gronkowski, who caught that touchdown a moment ago and received a standing ovation when the scoreboard revealed that he had set a record for a tight end. Now the official score has ruled it a lateral. Donald Brown gets the call. Players being separated by the officials. We'll get another look at that play from Brady. So it is not a touchdown pass.
Well, you're going to see Gronkowski come in motion, and he's just going to belly. And watch right here. He just a little bit of a lateral. And this one is going to make Tom Brady upset. Not Gronkowski. Gronkowski still gets the credit for the touchdown, not a reception. But Tom Brady, of course, doesn't get the credit for the touchdown throw.
So they remain tied at 13 in terms of the tight end record. A penalty marker is thrown. Looking at the replay, I don't think there's any question it was a lateral.
Yeah, it was close. Usually they give you the benefit of the doubt if it's...
Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty.
It's the left tackle, Anthony Costanzo. Let's go to NFL Today for an update with JB and Boomer.
Boomer, Tim Tebow.
It's Tebow time. 4-6, 29 yards in the first half throwing. How about this one? 21 yards to Demaryius Thomas. They tack on the extra point. Vikings still lead 15-14. A little early for Tebow time right now.
Tebow 6-9, 67 yards and a touch. Marv and Rich.
Well, no turnovers from Tim Tebow the last month, guys. That's a big reason why the Broncos are winning.
Donald Brown picks up 3, met by Vince Wilfork. Getting back to the Patriots, they have scored touchdowns in their last 4 possessions.
Yeah, they're just rolling, and it's the tempo and in and out. They're lining up, they're jumping the ball, and not giving the Colts a whole lot of time to get set. We've seen a number of times now where they've had some communication issues on the back end.
Orlovsky looking at a 3rd down and 9 as we come up on 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. And Able to complete underneath to Brown. Has a first down. Donald Brown is taken out of bounds by Matthew Slater, who's going the two-way route, a la Edelman, and in the past, Troy Brown. 15 yards on that play.
You know, Bill Belichick told us on Friday he couldn't tell you how many different times players have come up to him and volunteered to help play somewhere else. I think it speaks volumes of the type of players that they have here in New England. And you know, that's not generally how it is in other NFL cities. I mean, players are very concerned about getting hurt, the perception, and ultimately the bottom line, getting paid.
Here's Brown once again. Matthew Slater, usually a wide receiver and kick return man.
This goes way back to Troy Brown in the 2004 season. He's the one that really got it started, and then, you know, Julian Edelman, he comes in and does it. Now we see Slater doing it. Bill takes athletic players that are comfortable playing in space, good tacklers on special teams, and he tries them out on the scout team in defense, and then he begins over the course of the season to gradually work them in.
Orlovsky throwing incomplete, intended for the tight end Anthony Hill. And Matthew Slater is the son of Hall of Famer Jackie Slater, who spent 20 years, which is unheard of, with the LA Rams.
Yeah, he was a great left tackle, and he blocked for all those wonderful quarterbacks for the Rams. And you see Matthew Slater there, he's breathing heavy, and you're thinking a lot now. This is something that's unusual for him. You've got to be able to help him now and communicate, but these guys do a nice job fitting in and making plays without a whole lot of reps.
3rd and 9 for the Colts. And here they come. Orlovsky has a first down. Complete to Austin Collie for 9.
We see how the Patriots have been just working the zones. You're going to see Collie here. He does the same thing. He's just going to go up and sit, with Pierre Garçon doing essentially the same thing on the outside lane. I think Dan Orlovsky has really handled himself well. He's thrown the ball well, 12 of 17 for 113 yards, no touchdowns. He looks very comfortable in this offense.
A dive, straight ahead move for 6. As we come to a close to the 3rd quarter. It has been all New England Patriots. After 3, a 31-3 lead on Indianapolis. We'll return to Foxborough after this message and a word from your local station. After the slow start, just a field goal in the first quarter, 28 points put on the board by the Patriots in the second and third quarters. 4th quarter underway. Orlovsky completing to Garçon. Has the first down. Will Fork with the tackle, a 6-yard hookup.
You get a good look at Clyde Christensen there, the offensive coordinator. And you know, it hasn't been an easy season for him either. You think about losing Peyton Manning and how traumatic that can be for a play caller. They bring in the veteran Kerry Collins. He goes down, and then it's Curtis Painter and now Dan Orlovsky. And I think, as he said last night, the hardest part was having to switch philosophies at such a late date. You've had to run the football more. And it really changed for each quarterback that has played in this offense.
Joseph Adai picks up 6. I remember earlier this season in talking with Clyde Christensen, said how difficult it is to make the transition from Peyton Manning, which is obvious, but he said you're doing doctorate level work for 11 years, and then he's gone, which hurts, as you've talked about earlier, both sides of the ball.
Well, he had so many reps and so much history in this offense. He was able to do so much at the line of scrimmage. He had great flexibility and freedom. You just don't have that now with some of these other quarterbacks.
Play fake by Orlovsky. Diving catch is made for a first down. Reggie Wayne on the reception. It's good for 13.
And this is impressive to see from Orlovsky. This ball comes out real early. And I love to see great anticipation. You're going to watch Reggie Wayne. This ball, as he comes out, it's already on him. And that's impressive when you think that Orlovsky has not had a lot of reps with the first-team offense.
First out inside the 30-yard line, early fourth quarter here at Foxborough, where the Patriots have won 18 of their last 19 at home in the month of December. Orlovsky once again completes right at the marker, has Garcon. Devin McCourty with the stop, picked up 12, another first down for Indianapolis.
Well, this New England secondary has really struggled, dead last in pass defense, and this is a big reason why. You see these separation between the corner and the receiver, and they've given up too many big plays. The one thing they've done a good job of today is keep things in front of them. Belichick did not like how they started last week, giving up those two big post patterns to the Eagles.
Garcon, the swing pass. Nate Jones is right there. Nate Jones, who was signed as a free agent this week, getting a lot of work. Defensive back out of Rutgers.
Well, they've had so much change at the safety position. You know, Patrick Chung's not playing. We saw Sterling Moore. Now we're seeing Slater in there and running a lot of different players through there. And that really affects not only the continuity, but certainly the communication at each level of that defense.
Second down and 7. Donald Brown. And he is gang tackle, picked up 4. Now Indianapolis has scored only 3 points, but they have been able to certainly pick up a considerable amount of yardage here today. That's been the story throughout the season with New England, which at the defensive end, even though they're 8-3, has had some games where they've struggled. Can they win in the playoffs with this defense?
They can if Tom Brady and that offense continue to score 35 each week. And I think they're going to be challenged here as they face some better offenses come January.
Donald Brown gets to the 5. Let's see where they spotted Mark Anderson making the tackle.
I certainly don't think this Patriots defense is on the same level as a Pittsburgh or a Baltimore, but then at the same time, I don't know that those teams have the same offense and the same production right now at the quarterback position that the Patriots have. So it's kind of 6 in one, half dozen in the other. I like the way the Patriots have played defensively the last 5 weeks. You know, they give up the yards, but they're very, very stingy in this part of the field.
They pick up the first down, first and goal at the 5. 15th play of this drive for the Colts. Donald Brown to the outside. Brown is in. Touchdown. Donald Brown, 3-year man out of UConn, with his 4th touchdown of the season.
Well, what happens is Devin McCourty has missed a lot of time, and you're going to see him. He's going to be coming down. He's got run support, and he takes a poor angle initially. Now you've got to make this tackle, and you're not going to make that one up high on a back like Donald Brown.
Adam Vinatieri on for the extra point. Gone by on the 4th. 31-10 New England. Thursday on CBS, the next person these two heroes must protect is the one person who can blow their cover. Person of interest. New episode Thursday only. CBS. Danny Woodhead and Julian Edelman are both back for the kick from Pat McAfee. Edelman with Woodhead in front of him. Able to cut back the other way, and then taken down at the 20-yard line. Well, Tom Brady making his way back. He's already thrown for 2 touchdowns. Patriots start out from their 20-yard line. Play fake by Brady, guns it, and it is incomplete, intended for Deion Branch. Obviously, Tom Brady has had a magnificent game. coming on from the second quarter moving forward. But at what point do you think of lifting him?
I think after this series, you got to be smart. You go back a couple of years ago, week 17, they lose Wes Welker to a knee injury, and I don't think you ever forget that if you're Bill Belichick.
Ridley takes the handoff. Stephen Ridley, backup running back, a third-round draft pick out of LSU, and he goes for 6.
I was really impressed with what we saw out of Tom Brady at practice on Friday. They had a handheld camera behind him during practice. They shoot his throwing motion and his footwork. It's a special program that they then shoot to his home computer, and he goes home on Friday nights and he watches the whole thing.
On 3rd and 4, they come up short on that pass to Wes Welker. Antoine Bethea is right there. So the numbers on Brady: 28 for 34 and 296 yards.
And look how angry he is. And we talked to him about how he's so particular about his location on throws and his accuracy. He's very technically and mechanically sound, and I really enjoyed that conversation. They said they teach you how to tackle, but no one really teaches you, no one's really qualified to teach you how to throw.
There is Mesco getting the good hang time, and a fair catch called for by Pierre Garçon. Tom Brady upset, looking for the first down on that pass to Wes Welker, and upset with himself.
That's a perfectionist.
Take another shot at yourself. Indianapolis starting out at their 24-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, with New England on top 31-10. Orlovsky throwing the middle, diving catch for the first down. Pierre Garçon on a 19-yard pass play. So Orlovsky now 17 for 22.
Well, you look at some division leaders. Raiders really struggling today. They're 1-9 in the Eastern time zone since the start of the 2008 season. And look at that battle in Houston. Atlanta 10, Houston 10. TJ Yates, the rookie, getting his first ever start for the Houston Texans. And they lose Schaub a couple weeks ago, Leinart last week. And now they're down to the 3rd quarterback.
And those scores, as Adai is stopped after a 1-yard gain. All those scores good for New England, vying for best record in the AFC, tied with Houston, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, and Oakland also in the hunt at 7-4 coming in. Raiders consistently have problems when they come east.
Yeah, and then the big story this week was Rolando McClain, their linebacker, and had an incident with a gun supposedly down in Alabama. And big decision whether or not Hugh Jackson was going to play him, and that was a distraction. You don't need distractions this time of the year.
Orlovsky's pass to the sideline, caught by Garçon. He was in bounds right at the marker. It is a first down.
Yeah, as you and I have been having these conversations, I've been looking out of the corner of my eye at Dan Orlovsky. He's made some really nice throws in this drive. And you look off the safety. He's getting the ball out in front, making good, accurate throws. Really had a strong day. It hasn't gone well necessarily around him. The defense has struggled, but this guy has played well.
He's hit his last 7, and that is picked off. Gerard Mayo with a beautiful play on the interception. That ball was thrown with great velocity, and somehow Mayo came up with it. The interception of Orlovsky by Mayo, Gerard Mayo, who last year made the Pro Bowl for the first time, coming up with that pick. So the Patriots back to the offense, starting out from their 44-yard line. High snap handled by Brady, swings it. Hernandez stopped in his tracks by Jacob Lacey, loss of 3. Aaron Hernandez missed a couple of games early in the year with a strained knee.
How about this, up 31-10, and they're still going no huddle. The score means nothing to them. They're just going to run their offense the way they see fit.
And Brady has it punched away. Pass intended for Hernandez inside the 35-yard line. LaFege made a good play.
And this isn't something we've seen much of today. Just an underthrown ball by Tom Brady. He's got to get this one out in front of Aaron Hernandez. He's got LaFege beat. Sometimes you try and steer it as a quarterback rather than just pull the string and throw it. Boy, Hernandez, when you see him separate, he runs routes more like a receiver than a tight end.
Third down and 13. Brady 29 for 37, 293 yards. Brady took a hit, came up short.
This is why you get Tom Brady out of the game, and you don't want to see your quarterback take a hit like this and just see him holding the football. And Ricardo Matthews gets a pretty good shot on Tom Brady as he's following through with that right arm.
Punting unit has come on. LaFege back as the single safety. Here is Mesco. Just did get it away. Late signal for the fair catch, and LaFege had to make that circus catch. 52-yard punt.
Well, just misjudges it a little bit. It's actually dive to make the catch, and look who's right there to cover that kick. Matthew Slater.
Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame. Indianapolis starting out deep in their own territory. They're back at their 7. Orlovsky going sideline of Wayne, so Reggie Wayne makes the catch for 6 yards, covered by Kyle Arrington.
You kind of feel for Dan Orlovsky. He can be the quarterback who helps the Colts avoid an 0-16 finish, or he can be the one who gets stuck as a starting quarterback on 2 different 0-16 teams. We mentioned he's with Detroit in 2008. Certainly that's not something he wants on his resume.
Running back is Donald Brown, and Brown is stacked up. So the Indianapolis Colts headed for a record of 0-12, the worst records in the history of the NFL. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976, 0-14, and the Detroit Lions in 2008. With Dan Orlovsky, as you mentioned, part of that as they go 0-16, and you look at the rest of the schedule for Indianapolis. Orlovsky completes to Austin Collie for a first down. Next week, the Colts play at Baltimore, then home for Tennessee, then Houston, 2 clubs that are battling for the playoffs and playoff position, and they'll finish at Jacksonville on the 1st of January.
A lot of people think that maybe their only chance of getting a win this season is on January 1st at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got their own issues and a rookie quarterback in Blaine Gabbert that's struggling, but boy, the schedule the next 3 weeks at Baltimore, Tennessee, and Houston are going to be brutal.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The catch is made by Collie, but he lost his balance. 4-yard gain.
It's not fun to be a part of, and we got a chance to listen to Peyton Manning in our pregame show, and we talk about how disappointing it is. You know, you lose good people. You fired Larry Corey this week. A quarterback loses his job, and Curtis Painter, he's got to sit and watch. And
a hard hit as Jacob Tabby made the catch.
The reality is, Marv, is that there'll be more changes. You know, players, we always hear the expression, players playing for their jobs, and that's just what's happening.
Jamesy Headybone with that Powerful hit on Tabby. It's Donald Brown. Picked up 4. Tracy White on the stop.
See Jim Caldwell there. You know, you look at the coaching staff. It's the same guy that coached them 2 years ago to a 14-0 start. So I know he knows how to coach football. And very disappointing season for him and for this football team, but he's not going to waver. He'll keep preparing his football team, keep getting them ready to play. And the one thing you know about this business is the one constant is change. You know, there'll be changes with the staff probably. There'll be changes with players. And
it appears that Brian Hoyer, backup quarterback to Tom Brady, is starting to warm up. 3-year man out of Michigan State. Orlovsky over the top, and again has Colley for a first down.
See Dan Orlovsky picking himself off the ground a lot today. He's been getting hit quite a bit. He's stood in there with a tough jaw, and he's made some good throws. You just see the clean hit. They don't even block Gerard Mayo, and he gets a good shot on Dan Orlovsky right in the head. You know, hearing from the commissioner on that one.
Donald Brown on the handoff, met by Vince Wilfork, picked up 4 yards. We talked a bit about Peyton Manning earlier. It's kind of intriguing that the Colts have kept him on the active roster all season and even continue to list him as the #1 quarterback on the depth chart that's released to the media, although he has been sidelined. And Richard, it leads to a number of questions as to what do the Colts do next season. Orlovsky, leaping attempt by Pierre Garçon, but was hit from behind by Sterling Moore. Now, if they get the #1 pick, do they take Andrew Luck, keep both Luck and Manning with Peyton's huge contract plus that $28 million option bonus for next year? There's also the unknown because of Manning's 3 neck procedures, 1 hard hit, and could sideline Manning again. So do Jim Irsay and Bill Polian start over with a rookie who is highly regarded, but as you know, there are never any guarantees there. Or you stay with Peyton with a guy like Andrew Luck as the backup? That's a multiple choice question for you. Orlovsky throwing deep downfield for Garçon. Touchdown. Garçon with the touchdown reception, his 5th touchdown of the season.
Well, Sterling Moore is a safety, and he's matched up on Pierre Garçon, and that's not what you want if you're the Patriots. And see the frustration from Pierre Garçon. Very nice throw there by Dan Orlovsky. Another nice throw.
Garçon beating Matthew Slater and Sterling Moore, and led beautifully by Orlovsky as Vinatieri puts it through. And with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, it is now a 31-17 lead for the Patriots.
Well, you get a look here at Andrew Luck, and had a chance last night to talk to his coach, David Shaw. He's got plenty of arm strength. He doesn't try and overthrow it. Does a good job diagnosing things and getting the ball out quick. He can make plays with his legs. Very smart, ultra competitive, very good leader. And I just think if you're the Indianapolis Colts, certainly you want to find out what's going on with Peyton Manning. I think it would be very respectful of his situation. He's had an incredible career, and I still think he's got plenty of football left in him. And I'm not just talking about average football. I'm talking about special football from Peyton Manning. He's as good as there is, and you know, he just got the green light, Marv, in terms of being able to kick up his rehab program a little bit. And trust me, he will wear out those trainers and strength and conditioning coaches at that facility. He will work as hard as he does in terms of preparing with his rehab, and my sense is he'll be back. And if you're the Indianapolis Colts, I just don't know how you can pass up a player like Andrew Luck. I think you bring in Andrew Luck, you have him lure behind Peyton Manning. The rookie weight scale certainly works out. think it makes sense for the Colts.
All right, Patriots playing for the onside kick. And here it is, but too much lift on it. And a flag is down as may have been an offside. Kudavides was able to come up with it.
Offside. Receiving team number 59. 5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
All right, they'll do it again. Gary Guyton is called on that offside. Meanwhile, a solid game for Dan Orlovsky. 25 for 32, 263 yards, 1 touchdown, and picked off once.
I think he's played well enough, certainly, to earn another start next week and probably the rest of the way. And, you know, you got to find out about Dan Orlovsky. I was impressed with the way he handled himself in a very difficult situation. And, you know, we talk about the fact he hasn't had a lot of experience, Marv, and yet he's been in the league, you know, 8 seasons. And I just thought that he really threw the ball well today. Very impressive performance, I thought, from Dan Orlovsky. Much more accurate than what we've seen from Curtis Painter this season.
Only the 3rd penalty called on the Patriots, who have been penalized just 3 times each of the last 2 games.
You know, we should probably see something different from Pat McAfee. You can't try the same thing. They've got a couple different kicks up in their pretty similar.
Well, this one puts on the ground. The other one had too much lift. And the Patriots are on it. It's Rob Gronkowski who comes up with the ball. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest around the NFL, scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame. And Brian Hoyer makes his first appearance of the season, appeared in 5 games in each of the past 2 years. In his 3rd year out of Michigan State. So Hoyer comes on for Brady, and Ridley gets the call. Two-minute warning. 31-17, New England. Nice shot of the sunset here in the New England area. We're in Foxborough, where the Patriots have been in command following the first quarter, where they put up a field goal, and that was it. Stephen Ridley, rookie out of LSU, gets the call.
How about those numbers there, huh, Marv? Through 12 games, certainly on pace to break that record by our guy Dan Marino back in the studio, and 5,084 yards. It's not easy to do, particularly when the weather starts to change here in December, late December. So Tom's going to have to hope for a couple more nice days like this.
Colts taking a timeout. Speaking of the month of December, a look at the rest of the Patriots schedule at Washington, at Denver, then Miami and Buffalo here at home. New England 18-1 at home in December since Gillette Stadium opened up, and this would make it 19-1 and 18 straight victories. Once again, the handoff, and it's Ridley. Stop, no gain on the play. Philip Wheeler able to make the tackle. Timeout again called by the Colts. And the owner of the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft, spending a very happy afternoon as his New England, I should say the owner of the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft, having a very happy afternoon here at Foxborough.
He's not had a lot of bad afternoons here, I can tell you that. You just mentioned the record, Marv, and they've been incredible. I think the best compliment I can pay Robert Kraft, who's always so gracious to us when we come to town to do the games, is I would have loved to have played for him as a player. This is a first-class operation. They have leadership at every level, from the ownership the general manager, the head coach, the quarterback, is a reason why they've had so much success.
This was punt, fair catch called for, made by Garcon. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, Michael Bublé has the #1 Christmas album in the country and an inspiring success story to go along with it. To get a preview right now, simply call *60. That's *60 from your mobile phone. Rich, I saw you dialing just before the game.
That's right. Get a good look at Bill Belichick there. I know he doesn't want to hear it, but the Patriots have the easiest remaining strength of schedule in the NFL. Opponents have a combined 18-37 record.
Caught by Reggie Wayne. Gerard Mayo makes the stop. Pick up a 15 with the time running down, 1.5 minutes remaining. Have you ever seen Michael Bublé?
Not live. Not live.
On tape, on film.
Oh, I've seen him on TV. Not live.
He is sensational.
Oh, I know.
Pass underneath for Austin Collie. And that's a pickup of 12.
I don't know how Austin Collie can catch the ball with that shield over his face mask there. It's tinted. You can't really see his eyes.
And again, pass underneath completed to Jacob Tammy this time for an 11-yard hookup. So the Patriots go to 9-3, and they will make it 4 straight wins. And here are the Colts. It's a clinical timeout.
Now you think about this game and you go back and look at this series between the Colts and the Patriots, and each of the last 6 games between these two teams have been decided by 7 points or less, with the Colts winning 4 of the 6. Of course, that was with Peyton Manning, and it's just a totally different operation. And how the loss of Peyton Manning not only impacts the offense, because they're not built to run the football and do those type of things, but even the defense, because the defense was put together with Freeney and Mathis to rush the passer and to play with the lead. So it's had a trickle-down effect on the entire organization.
And Indianapolis will drop to 0-12. Their worst record ever, a 1-15 in 1991. That pass for Garcon, a beautiful catch. And rolled out of bounds to stop the clock with 40 seconds to go. Devin McCourty on the coverage. Another beauty by Pierre Garcon.
Pierre Garcon right there does a nice job locating it and then creating a little bit of separation by just nudging Devin McCourty there right on the boundary.
It's a 40-yard pass play, and here is Orlovsky throwing end zone. Garcon, was he in possession? Yes, he was. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
They're going right after Devin McCourty. You can't ease up late in the 4th quarter. You lose a little bit of your concentration and your focus. You don't do a good enough job getting some jam or disrupting Pierre Garcon. He just gets a clean release and runs right by McCourty.
Obviously, that was more than just a clinical timeout, as Vinatieri comes on for the extra point, and this could be a 7-point game with just 36 seconds to play. New England with a 31-24 lead.
You look at Dan Orlovsky's numbers in the second half, and you look at statistics, and what do they tell you? And sometimes they're skewed. But if you look at where the Patriots are ranked defensively, we talked about this coming in, Marv, they're dead last, 32nd in total defense, and they've given up 437 yards today. A lot of them coming here in the second half. The last 2 Colts drives, 93 yards and 90 yards. That's in over 180 yards of offense when the game was essentially over.
And the Colts were down 31-3 at one stretch.
Now you got a chance for an onside kick here.
36 seconds to play. This was not the score that
people
most people around
anticipated.
the country would have expected.
And this is good to see the Colts. I mean, they didn't, they got behind and they didn't quit. They just kept chipping away, and probably not going to win this game, but certainly the effort and finish were there.
Well, it is handled by Deion Branch.
Pat McAfee just tries to bang this one up in the air and get some good height and hope that one of his teammates can get down there and make a play. Deion Branch out there with the hands team and get your... Tom Brady comes in to take the kneel down for the Patriots. Got to make sure they don't screw up the quarterback center exchange.
21 straight points scored by the Indianapolis Colts, and that will do it. Now, they did not want to take any chances. So once again, Bill Belichick will not be happy the way his team has closed out the game. They've had that problem this season.
Yeah, didn't finish real well in the fourth quarter, and that's something I think is disturbing. I think on the defensive side of the ball, and even offensively, they had a couple 3-and-outs there in the fourth quarter. Not the finish they were looking for late.
But the Patriots do go to 9-3. They maintain their division lead, and it's 4 straight wins, while Indianapolis drops to 0-12. Final score, Patriots 31 and the Colts 24. Coming up, the Subway postgame show for Rich Gannon. This is Marv Albert saying so long from Foxborough. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.